Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay guys, I'm on the test server here. I've got early access to this new fusion champion. We're going to be testing him out. Really, we want to test his damage. Okay, if his damage is super high, then he might have some legs for people on their accounts. He definitely felt kind of mid to me when I first saw his kit. So a lot depending on whether or not he was going to hit really hard. He's looking old, he's looking tired, but can he still cut it with the youngsters? So what's going on? He's got a double hit. Each hit will transfer a random debuff from him to a target. And if this champion is under any debuffs when attacked, he will counter-attack with this skill. So basically, as soon as debuffs are on him and he gets hit, he's got a chance to throw those back onto someone else whilst doing some damage. Everything about this champion is HP-based for damage, so you want to push his health really high. In fact, what's his base HP like? 22.8. It's not even crazy. It's okay. His A2 then is on a 4-turn cooldown, books to 3, and you can put out 3 debuffs, which is kind of unusual. So 75% chance of placing a fear, and then, sorry, placing all of these, but you book it up to 100% if you've got books. So it would be fear, the weak version. I did say earlier in another video that I really wish this was true fear, but decreased crit damage and decreased crit rate on all enemies. Cannot be resisted by enemies who are already under a couple of debuffs. So if you've got someone who's opening the fight with, you know, like a Lydia, for example, drop defense and weaken, these go on, no accuracy required. That's quite important in terms of trying to see if this guy can actually do damage. We then got the A3. So it's on a 4-turn, books to 3. Attacks one enemy, will ignore 25% of the target's defense. Will ignore 50% of the target's defense instead if they're under a couple of debuffs. This has to kill someone. Like, pretty much it should do anyway. Anyone who's doing a single target hit as a legendary when they're basically against someone with 2 debuffs, and let's say that is drop defense and weaken, this should kill someone, right? And that's imperative. If that doesn't happen, then damn, what's going on? But if he does kill someone, he gets block damage on himself for 2 turns, which means that he can cycle back round to this ability quite quick. I don't know, block damage can be removed by enemies, so it's not like it's you know, it's crazy, but it could be good. It's then got this passive as well. So whenever an enemy resists a debuff, the next debuff will be irresistible. And that should only be a case when it's happening with this skill here, which hopefully you're setting it up so he can't do that anyway. So I feel like this passive is a little bit null and void. But you've got here, each debuff placed by this champion increases their max HP by 3% up to 30. So if you can get 10 debuffs out there, which if you're fighting a team of 4, this is already 12 debuffs. So you cap this out. Then you're going to get another 30% max HP, which basically means you're increasing your damage. It's a straight damage multiplier from for things like the A3 skill. So that's pretty cool. He's got HP in all battles. And yeah, we're going to see what we can do with this guy. He's a straight damage dealer, though. Let's be honest. Like, there's not many places in the game where these debuffs are really relevant, and he doesn't bring any buffs for your team. He doesn't bring anything for the team at all. He's literally all about himself and trying to one-shot somebody with this A3 skill. So if I think about where he might be decent, it's really like wave-based content and arena. Fear is not a strong enough debuff to put me off trying to use my abilities in general content. And you know, the enemies that do get fear, they still got all of their abilities to use again. Whereas True Fear puts them on cooldown. So, you know, definitely a weaker version here. Just can't really see that he gets into a lot of, like, boss-style content, which means he's basically a wave guy and an arena guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him the gear that I've currently got on my Narses. Narses is, like, one of my best HP-based damage dealers. Loads of HP on this build. Good crit damage. He's a 6-star. I can actually put the 6-star soul straight onto this guy because I'm on the test server. So what I'm going to show you first is like Narses taking a swing at some enemies. And then we're going to flip to him with the same, as close to the same gear as I can do. I can't do exactly the same gear, but as close to it as I can get. And yeah, we'll see what the difference is between one top tier HP nuker and this new guy. Right then, so here's the test bed for the team. We're on stage 23, which is a void stage for dragon, just so we can try and keep it as even as possible. So we're trying to set it up here. We get poison on the enemy, poison on us, drop defense and weaken on the enemy, and then the A2 for Narses here In fairness, Narses does a double hit if there was shield out there, and obviously against these waves there won't be, but this will give us an idea. So like a 240, 250k hit with no shield. So if there was shield out there, he goes again and hits twice. But yeah, 250k is the kind of base. Obviously doubles up if there was a shield, which is where Narses becomes really strong. Narses is an arena-based champion, really, because there's so many people that have shield sets or bolster or whatever. So he becomes really strong. Then his A3 is a double hitter. So let's see what sort of damage we do with this. I mean, it's 385, but that would be a double hit. So Narses is kind of like the king, right? He's and let's be clear, he's a Void Legendary, extremely hard to get. But what we're going to do is we're going to switch the gear over. To make it even, I upped him to a 6-star soul. I've booked him out so that he is the same. I'm going to steal the same relic, which I put the cat's gaze on Narses just so that he's got something which helps him swing. Booked him out. We're going to steal Narcis's gear, and we've gone full damage masteries like Helm Smasher, any of the masteries where we get a bigger first hit, okay? We've got Savage gear on, we've got Helm Smasher on, we've got the Cat's Gaze. We're already ignoring defense with that A3 anyway. We should be doing pretty close to true damage here when we hit.
Get ready for raid, maximum damage.
Okay, this wouldn't be a test without the bandana on, so we're going full on damage mode. Let's get this rocking. Let's start off by testing his A2. Now, this is an irresistible set of debuffs, firstly, because of the amount of debuffs we've got on the enemy. But yeah, 3 debuffs going out there, plus a smack. Oh, it's actually big. 400k hits. 400k hits, plus those debuffs. Damn, that's actually really high damage. That's similar to, it's a bit less than Narses, if Narses is doing his double hits. But that's really high damage, actually. Damn, that's way more than I was expecting. Okay, that's a decent smack right there. Decent smack, right. Let's see what this A3 is like as he gets his fiery balls out there. Swings it round for a 600k hit. Ooh, he actually hits really bloody hard. Okay. Okay, maybe this fusion isn't quite as easy a skip as we thought originally. That is some smacking going on there. And then let's try this A1. Double hit. Each hit transfers debuffs if they're on him. And this is an ability that can counter attack. So if someone throws a debuff on me, I was actually... Yeah, this is a good test. I wanted to see if Gerptuck could make this happen. So double hit, like 200 odd K each. And you see that. So I am putting the Gerptuck poisons back at the enemy, which I was interested to know if that works. Completely forgot I wanted to test it, but that's kind of cool. I hope they come after him now, because I would like to see if... Oh, I'm going to run out of that debuff. I would like to see if that causes them... Causes him to counterattack. So you see I've got my block damage up. Please hit him. Oh, just feared them like an idiot. Okay, we'll get through this wave. We'll get through this wave and see if that's what's going down here. But can I force them to be countered by me? Let's. I'm not going to put anything on other than the debuffs. Let's give it a turn because we've got some good stuff going on here. Let's see what happens. No drop defense and weaken. So I would only be ignoring 20. In fact, let's go with this skill. Land all the abilities. Look at that. With no drop defense and weaken on. That is some damage right there. That is some bloody damage right there. Let's just continue for now. Well, I guess we're going to get debuffs here anyway. Oh my lord, look at that. 780k on this level 23 dragon. Christ, it's almost like enemy max HP damage. Double hit here, 400k. I mean, the trouble is... Oh, that is some damage he's doing. That is absolutely crazy damage that he's doing there. I mean, he's in some of my best gear, right? So, of course, that's making a big difference. Of course it is. But still, that is up there with some of the better damage dealers in the game for just pure smacks. I guess let's get him into the arena. Okay, so in the test server here, everybody's got like crazy abilities and stuff. Like, it's just super hard to beat anybody, but let's see what's going on. I'd imagine there's a bunch of stone skin. Deal with him. I just kind of want to get a couple of debuffs out there, but still make sure I get a turn. There's almost not enough space for this guy in the team. Okay, so there's no stone skin out there. That's a good start. So I could just think about this here. She's fast. Nobody else is fast. So let's just go A2. Get True Fears out there. I get my debuffs that I want. I mean, there's no reason to do that. I'm still at A1 for now. Christ. Empress trying to steal the show. Okay, so let's go into his skill. Let's try his... I guess let's try his A3. So I'd get block damage on me after that. 240k. I mean, it is a smack, but you do need setup to make it a smack. But obviously, he's now got block damage on him. So, I mean... Yeah, okay, other guy's stealing the show, really. I don't know if I could beat any of these other ones. Let's try Bronco. Let me just remember again, this guy's passive. Fills his turn meter whenever an enemy or an ally gets a debuff. So I can't go debuff heavy here. Let's see if I'm quick enough against Bronco. I am, but there's stone skin everywhere. So I'd need to rip stone skin. But if I rip stone skin, then Teox gets going. So maybe I'm just going to see if I can just straight up A3 this guy without any debuffs. It is a one-shot. That's good. That's good to see. Okay. And then maybe we'll try and get a fear over here. I still think that Teox is probably going to wreck me, but... Oh, no. We'll still get a stone skin removal. Okay, we got a weak hit. Teox has had a go, but obviously I've got my block damage up, so I'm now in a good spot to just have a go at this. And then we got our AoE. So is that our AoE strong enough? Oh, it is. Our AoE is strong enough. That is good to see. That is good to see. Oh, Nubs. This is the team that Nubs is testing with. Interesting. She would be a problem. They're all 6-star. Christ, Nubs. What's going on with these 6-star souls you've got going on here? Means his Sifi is so quick because of that 6-star soul. And I do think there's a good argument to say this guy needs to be in stone skin, like as his secondary set, because right now, as you can see, I'm just getting wrecked and locked out and all sorts. Yeah, it's just I'm just dead. But yeah, I think a secondary stone skin, because of champs like Armand's being so prevalent still in the arena, and you know, you needing to get a turn, because if you get a turn, you kill someone, you get your block damage ability, and then you can come again with that A2. I think that's pretty solid. Sifi, Rotus, I'm going to have to go. So I think A3 here. She still cuts in, damn. Is this a double or a single hit? Single hit. Let's try and take out this Sifi. Oh, not quite. So close. With increased defense, without any debuffs on, we took her down to basically 0. I guess we're just going to try and reverse a bunch of these buffs. The anomaly doing work. Trying to even the score up. Let's go with the A2. It's good damage. I mean, Rotus obviously is staying alive for different reasons because he has got that passive. But, you know, taking down a Sifi, pretty strong. Let's block her out with my Lydia. Lydia also a great champ, as we know. Get Fears out there. We're going to A3. He's just over half health, I think, so can't be him. Needs to be Sifi. 300k on the A3. And then we can have mop-up going on from Mr. Mop-up himself. Bam. Yeah, look, he is a wave-based dude, okay? I think if we're starting to talk about, you know, hard faction wars come in, do you need someone in that Shadowkin team that's going to punch some damage through waves of enemies in faction wars? Do you need someone who's going to be in like one of your arena teams? I think he can do it. Is he just going to smack through waves of enemies? Yeah, I kind of think he is. But he doesn't bring that next layer of all of these cool debuffs for bosses and stuff. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. He's definitely better than I thought he was going to be in terms of pure smack value. But I don't know that he gets out of the vault for, you know, people that have got a massively wide roster. He's definitely a contender, though. Way better than I thought he was going to be. Anyway, there you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.